What's going on, you guys? It's me, AnarchYxNinja. Acolyte episode 3, the much anticipated or dreaded, whatever you want to look at it, episode is here. We're gonna get into our thoughts on it. We just finished watching it. Haven't really watched anybody's takes on it yet. This is just solely my thoughts. And side note, before we get into it, again, I am streaming now. I just literally started the stream, so nobody's in here yet. But we will. For those who are going to tune into the stream, we're not going to look at your comments yet until I go over my thoughts, and then at the end of the video, or towards the end, we'll open it up to what you guys are saying. Just, there you go, disclaimer. So I'm not ignoring you, but I'm ignoring you. But anyway, episode 3. Obviously, spoiler warning for any dumb person who does not already can think for himself and think that. But anyway. Was it as lore-breaking? That's the main question. We're going to get right to it. Was it as lore-breaking as many people hyped up? In my opinion, no. I don't think it really was. I don't enjoy the things I saw necessarily, but I don't... it didn't ruin the lore. Let's put it that way. But I don't agree with it. And I can give you an example, too. I feel the same way about the world between worlds. I never liked that from the moment we saw it, and I still don't to this day. It opens up too many possibilities to mess up things in Star Wars. Same way, I love Ahsoka, I don't like the way they brought her back. I feel the same way with this. The incident itself might not be very horrible in terms of lore breaking, but what it's opening up possibilities for, I don't like it in Star Wars, but whatever. But it's not nearly as bad as everyone's making it out to be. But it could go down that route, in my opinion, anyway. But, yeah, for those who don't know, basically, they, do I say it the funny and offensive way, or do I do it as objectively as possible? We'll try to do this objectively as possible. But the all-female tribe of witches, they seem to be a little, yeah, they like finger-banging each other. I said it, I can't do it any other way. They appear to be of that way, at least some of them. Now they have children, because the Force made them children. So that, I'm sure will, we're avoiding the woke argument as much as we can, but that's what happened. That's what happened in the show, as far as we can tell. So yeah. All-female tribe now has children, because, yeah. Anyway, whatever. So basically, they manipulated the Force. Oh, hello. Thank you. Girlfriend just walked in. Hold on. I'll get into that on stream after we get this video done. It's one of those days, let's put it that way. Anyway, but they manipulated the Force to make children. Because, of course they did. And, yeah, again, it doesn't ruin lore for me, but I also, I don't particularly care for it. Was the episode good? Honestly, I didn't really enjoy the episode. And it wasn't because of that. The story isn't enticing me nearly as much as other Star Wars shows, so from that standpoint, putting aside all wokeness and stuff, I'm just breaking down the story now. I still don't particularly enjoy it. It's not as bad as Book of Boba Fett, in my opinion, but it's not, I don't know. The enjoyment just isn't there. The excitement isn't there for me, but hopefully it changes moving forward, but yeah, as of now, the story just seems a little lackluster. Spoiler, some of the stuff that people were hinting at did happen, like the what's her name? May did set fire because she started pouting and, lit everyone on fire. That whole scene itself is shot very weird for me. I don't really like it. And my personal opinion is, how do I word this? It's in my head, but I don't know how to put it into words. My personal opinion is this episode was shot from a specific side's point of view. So later on down the line, we'll see the other side's point of view, and this is what actually happened, that type of stuff. Because it didn't feel very well shot, and I think that's why. That's my guess. I could be completely wrong. I think they're doing it that way, because this girl lit a fire to take out her sister's notebook, because she's mad. Her sister wanted to join a Jedi. She didn't want to. She's sipping the Kool-Aid with all these ladies and wants to stay with them. They're a cult, basically, in my opinion. She wanted to stay. She gets mad. She locks her sister in her room and then lights her notebook on fire. And then all of a sudden, the whole place is on fire and all the witches are dead, which makes no sense to me whatsoever. From what we saw in this episode, she set the thing on fire. Looks like an accident, the fire spread. But then we also cut to them running underground, kind of, or in a underground chamber where realistically the fire wouldn't have spread it to that fast. And the I don't know what it is, but whatever piece of machinery they had down there was blowing up. So the way I interpret it in this episode was that May blew it up as well. But even if she lit the accidental fire and blew that up, they run out, you know, Soul finds the girl and we need to get out of here. And then they start running and now all of a sudden the witches are all dead on the floor up top. I'm like, how do they die? It doesn't make any sense to me. Now, my personal thing is we're not getting the true story here. This is just what we've been led to believe to distract, but in reality, the real story is going to come out later. I feel like that's why they shot it that way. But even though I think that's what they did, I still don't agree with the way they shot it. Because they're making it, in my opinion, too obvious that that's what's going to happen. Because, oh, she lit a fire and killed all of her mothers. And yet, how the fuck did they die? You didn't even shoot it in a way where that even looks plausible to me. And God forbid they don't actually do what I just said and then change it. You know, like, let's say this is actually how the mothers all died. Man, they needed to shoot that scene better. That's absolute garbage, if that's the way it is, but I don't think it is. I have a feeling there's something more nefarious at play. We haven't seen, if you've seen the episode, or the one of the trailers, you have the Wookiee Jedi fighting Torben, who's the little white Jedi who killed himself at the last episode because he's sad. So I feel like we're still yet to see what they're claiming, and you know, they might even go overboard with the next side's take on events, and then we'll meet somewhere in the middle with what actually happened. Who knows? But yeah, we're definitely not getting the whole part of the story here, and God forbid if we are. Oh Jesus, the writing in the show's horrible. I don't think we are in its defense, not yet anyway. We'll have to just see and wait till next episode, because as of now, what we know, the little Torben, I believe his name is, the white Jedi who was meditating and killed himself. If he killed himself, let's put it this way. If these are the events that happen and he killed himself out of, like, bro, that dude's a little bitch, and the Jedi didn't need him, because nothing really terribly bad happened at this point. You know, I've always questioned this, not just in this, but overall. The Jedi going around taking kids is very strange to me. That, I just like, dude, no, you're not taking my kid, I don't give a fuck. They have Jedi powers, you can go fuck yourself. That would be my take as a parent, but again, in Star Wars, we allow that. So they kind of did that here, so they kind of did wrong, but in terms of Star Wars, they're just business as usual. This is what's been happening, so. Yeah, I don't know why he's killing himself over that, so I still feel like there's a lot of the story left untold in regards to that. My guess is they're gonna have, like in this version of events, the girl killed everybody with fire, blah, blah, blah. That's how the parents died. In my version of events, if I have to guess the way the story's going, if I have to guess, we saw Soul run down underground to try to save the girls, try to save May and try to save Osha, right? My personal take is when we see the next episode that breaks down what actually happened, I think the other three Jedi went full beast mode and started killing the mothers. The mothers probably attacked them because they're not going to want to just straight up make the Jedi look blatantly evil, so I'm guessing the mothers attacked them. Someone attacked when they didn't want to, you know, the mothers didn't agree. The Jedi ended up slaughtering them. I think that's what's going to happen. And then it will be left up to us, well, is it self-defense or is it not, you know, blah, blah, blah. I think that's the question that we're going to be left with. Because saying they just died in this fire is ridiculous. And again, I don't think that's going to happen, but if they leave the story as it is, that's what happened. Oh, Jesus, this story's god fucking awful. But I don't think that's what's going to happen. I have a feeling the Jedi started killing people, and that's why Torben's going to be sad about this. But again, at the end of the day, I'm not particularly enjoying this show very much. I'm not hating it. Again, it's not nearly as lore-breaking as some people wanted to make out, because you can make that same argument with the World Between Worlds, and I didn't like it, but people didn't get this up in arms about it either, so. Yeah, there you go. What else? I don't really have anything else off the top of my head. We'll open it up to the stream. But okay, I'm looking at chat now. Where the women conceive kids together. Yeah, but not bisexual means. They did it through the Force. But yeah, at the end of the day, they, in their words, as far as we can tell, they manipulated a thread of the Force, is how they call it, and they made the two children. But yeah, they were a lesbian couple. They were getting a little too close there if they weren't lesbians. Some of those scenes. So I'm pretty sure they're a lesbian couple, and they have it. And again, I could look. Well, you have to factor in the wokeness, because whether you want to or not, it's here, and mainly because Disney's making it be there. And the writers and shit, and the producer and everything. So it's gonna get taken that way, and it's not gonna be good for business, in my personal opinion. But hey, whatever. But yeah, that is what happened. Some of the things that did leak were accurate. They were pretty accurate. I think some of them got blown out of proportion, but for the most part, they were kind of right with a lot of the leaks. Not all of them. Did this ruin Yoda's legacy? I don't know if this was the episode that was supposed to ruin Yoda, but no, I don't even like Yoda that much, and I'm not saying it ruined his legacy right here, but whatever. I'm sure somebody will disagree. It'll be interesting to see what the side who's saying it ruined his legacy are saying, because personally, I don't really give a fuck. And sadly, the game's already over. We were supposed to have a good game, but the other team didn't want to push.
They're on the run now. Ton of breaks in order.
Let's see what else we got here. Let me see here. Oh, hold on. Let me move this. Multitask it here. We'll just carry this over because we're not done with our thoughts. Dathomir witches, I believe they were all female as well. So there you go. We like them, but don't like these. But again, in fairness, there's a reason we don't like these, or the majority don't like these, but don't mind Dathomir, because now the wokeness in Disney is going crazy, and they mention it at every given turn. So they're breathing life to it, and yeah, that's why people are having more problem with it now than then. But people don't want to admit that. That's where I have a problem with it, Random. That's where I agree. Personally, I don't even like the idea of Anakin just being magically force conceived. But I can at least get it. Like, alright, you know, he is the chosen one. I get it. It was a special event. That's why I don't like it in the grand scheme of things. The same way I think the World Between Worlds is kind of lore-breaking, this could go down that route. So now you just have witches conceiving people whenever they want. Personally, I don't really like it. It's not as bad as terrifying as people are making it out to be, but personally, I still don't like it. I would rather them not have done that and not done the World Between Worlds. It brings too many possibilities for future shit. So, no, I still don't really agree. But yeah, to me, it diminishes Anakin's story more than Yoda's, in my opinion. If we had to make a case of anyone's story from the older Star Wars that got hurt by this episode, it wouldn't be Yoda, it would actually be Anakin. Because now he does seem a little less special now because of that. So, yeah. Yeah, I still don't think the plot's good, so we ain't getting that so far, but I don't know. I can't rank the shows yet. We'll have to wait and see where it's at, but Acolyte's not very high on that list right now. Let me see. What are we missing here? Yeah, I agree, but I'm not going to say what comment because we're making a video. I don't want to get in trouble. That's why I gotta watch the streams. You get to hear the unedited ninja, but we're trying to be as objective as possible here.
The rebels are evacuating their base. We will assist in the assault and, once inside, ground their transports. You shall be honored to take part.
Nobody
in this
really said
operation.
anything interesting, honestly. I mean, I don't know. What else do I have to say on it? I don't.
Ensure their safety and watch for rebel rocket attacks. Go.
Not really having anything else to really say, to be honest. Like, just, at the end of the day, I didn't really enjoy the episode, and it wasn't just because that sole event. I still feel like the story itself is not very captivating for me, but I know others will disagree, but yeah, I'm not like loving it, but like, oh my god, this is awesome. That excitement there I had for even Ahsoka and other shows just isn't there now, but you could admit it, maybe it's just my own fault, and it's because the climate of Star Wars now has been so, you know, it is what it is, if you will, without getting into detail. It just kind of takes away the excitement going into some of these episodes, unfortunately, but I don't know. What have I missed? I know I miss shit. I know I miss shit. That's why I hate doing these things live. I don't write notes or nothing, and I know I'm missing stuff. And the moment I get off, I'm like, yeah, I should have mentioned that, but it's too late. I already ended the video. See, that's one thing I would have to question with this particular group of witches, right? And again, we don't know, we're just speculating, but if they're setting up the Jedi, how do I word this? If they're setting up the Jedi to be the bad guys, because they take children, which, I mean, I've kind of thought that for a while now, to be honest. I was like, that seems weird, but whatever. But if that's what they're specifically doing in this series, how is there all these Night Sisters there all congregated in the same spot? You know, they kind of, you know, I don't know. I don't want to get into it, but I guess they could just be recruiting people and shit like that, but it just, I don't know. We'll just have to see the direction the show goes overall, but at the end of the day, I still wish George was in power. Let's just put it that way. Let's put it that way. Sadly, that's not happening ever again. So, yeah, might as well stop hoping for it. It ain't fucking happening. sad seeing the state of Star Wars though. Like you know, you got shows like House of the Dragon coming out, everybody's excited for it, and then Star Wars comes out, and it's never excitement anymore. It's always, some of it's justified and some of it's not, but it always just turns into this shit stuff. And then on top of that, when you finally do get the episode, the writing and the story isn't even very fucking good. So it's like, you just, Star Wars is just, to me, they're ultimately failing. They're not really doing a particularly good job, unfortunately. But if somebody's thinking the Acolyte's going to be the show that saves the day, it's not doing that so far. And I personally don't think it will. But maybe if I'm wrong, I'll gladly say it. But I don't think it's going to be the show that saves the day. Let's put it that way.
Casualties on one of the walkers.
Yeah, basically just wait for Andor. Andor's probably going to be the next thing I'm actually really excited to see. I mean, you can make the case wherever Thrawn's story is told next, if it's whether it's Ahsoka season 2 or whatever, maybe then. But it's just, yeah. Again, this whole episode, you do need to factor in the wokeness, because they do preach this shit all the time in their own interviews. So it's them saying it, not the fans. You can see the writing on the wall, if you will, all over this episode, which is not doing anyone favors. And when we've been saying since the sequels, is like, you need to stop egging it on. Like we said, Disney started this whole, because the sequels had bad writing, they started the whole you hate it because of women, and they brought how do I put it? They brought light to the situation. In a situation that is not factually accurate. We didn't like the sequels, not because there were women, or it was because the story was shit. That's why we didn't like it. And now they've gone down the route where they keep preaching that shit. That's where the Star Wars fans are having a problem. And the other side that defends them does not understand that. And then when you make episodes like this, you're kind of just reinforcing their thought. You're purposely antagonizing your viewers. And then Disney and all these people are acting all shocked Pikachu face when the people don't like it, you know. So it's just, personally, Disney's doctrine is wrong. It is not the thing they should be doing if they're trying to make good Star Wars, but they just don't seem to give much of a fuck about that, if we're being honest. So at the end of the day, the writing's there. You see it. Even if you don't think it's true, it's going to be hard to watch this and then not think that, you know. It's going to be hard. Even if you don't have a problem with it, you have to admit it's there. It's not something you can just kind of, nah, that's not what's happening. Like, it's pretty obvious to most people. So. No, Yoda better not have fucking forced done something. If he's having a baby, if Grogu's his baby, he better have banged the shit out of Yaddle. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, bro. I manipulated the threads of the Force to just magically make a baby. Again, I wasn't even sold on that with Anakin, but at least then it's, you know, they're in a way they're copying Jesus' story, and you know, so don't get me started on that one either. But you know, I'm like, whatever. At least he's the main chosen one. This is a rare event. Now, to me, they've diminished that. But whatever, bro. We kind of knew that was gonna happen. They don't seem to give much of a fuck about George Lucas' original idea of Star Wars. So they're kind of just doing whatever they feel like at the moment. Unfortunately, and sadly, I don't think it's going to be changing anytime soon. Though I wish it would, but I don't. Hey, we were just talking about you, Yoda. Good time, bro. Let my stamina go up, please. Oh, he already fired. Actually, he dropped it, I think. I don't even know.
Reinforcements are too late.
Anyway, let's just end the video here. I don't have any more thoughts off the top of my head. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoy. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you guys later. Bye. Watch the stream if you want to finish the rest of this garbage gameplay. Can I not overheal?